Hi, it's Julia at Generation Eve, and today I'm so excited because we have one of our writing contributors with us. This is Chelsea. Hey,
Hello.
Chelsea.
Hi.
I am so excited to have her, and today Chelsea is being really brave, and she is going to share with all of you her journey through, sadly, a miscarriage that she had this past year. And so we wanted to ask her, what are some of the things that were really helpful that people said, as well as some of those things that really didn't help the situation at all. So I'm going to throw it to Chelsea, and the first thing I want to ask you, Chelsea, is what are some of those things that were really helpful that people said to you that was really comforting and meant something to you?
Honestly, I understand, like, if you've never walked through something like this, you really don't know what to say. Um, I've had friends that have gone through miscarriages, and before I experienced it myself, I really didn't know what to say to them either. So I think most people, their heart's in the right place, but they just don't know what to say. So for us, one thing that was really helpful was when people would just say things like, "We love you. We're here for you. We're praying for you. Let us know if there's anything that you need." Um, Not trying to offer us advice, not trying to tell us, what we need to do, or, um, you know, give us their words of wisdom, if you will, but just people that were truly there for us, that loved us, and that were, that said, "We're going to pray for you, and we're here if you need anything."
So it sounds like just being with you was more important than trying to fix the situation by offering advice. And
Yeah.
so, what are some of the things? Give us an example of some things that people said, perhaps that really didn't help the situation. Some things that you wouldn't recommend saying to someone that had just, gone through a miscarriage.
Yeah, and again, I think a lot of people, their hearts, and they're just trying to be helpful, but when you
Sure.
don't know what to say, sometimes it's best not to say anything.
Right. Right.
Except, again, we love you, we're here for you, we're
Right.
praying for you. One thing that I heard from a couple different people, which um, it's not necessarily the most helpful thing at the time, is, oh, sometimes if you just adopt, then God will bless you with a child.
Mm-hmm.
And that is true for some people, and my cousin is an example of that. They adopted, and she actually became pregnant during the adoption process, but that's not true for all women.
Right.
So making a blanket statement like that isn't always the right thing, I feel like, to say to someone going through that. So, and that might not be for everybody. That might not be what God's called them to do
Right. Right.
during that season of their life. So that was something that I would definitely refrain from saying to someone
Right.
walking through
Right.
that.
Right.
Um,
And some of the other things, I'd love to hear how you took care of yourself. After the miscarriage, what are some things that you did for self care to help yourself mentally and spiritually and physically?
One thing I did was, even when I wasn't in a place where I wanted to really read the word, I made myself, especially like even if it was just Psalms, even if it was just one or two Psalms a day, just something to comfort my spirit,
That's good.
and really make myself press into the Lord. Because there were times where if you've walked through this, you are angry with God, and it's a natural reaction, I feel like, to be angry and to feel anger. So forcing myself to just read the word and pray, even when I didn't feel like it. And sometimes I would just listen to worship music. One of my girlfriends sent me a song to listen to called, "It's All Gonna Be Okay." And sometimes I would just listen to that on repeat, and that's all I could do that day. But it would just bring comfort and peace into my soul, my spirit. So that was helpful, just listening to a song that brought comfort at the time, or reading a scripture verse, or meditating on one or two passages.
Right. And did you feel like being around people, or did you just want to get away from people? Or how did it?
It varied depending on the day, honestly, in the week. There were some times where I wanted to see people. I was very selective in who I wanted to see. And to be honest, in the beginning, I really didn't want to talk to anybody unless they had been through what we had been through.
Right.
And we had a couple close friends in our lives that had gone through the same thing. And so I wanted to be around them because I knew that they could relate to what I was going through. I didn't want to be around my friends that had never experienced it and that had children, because it was just too difficult at the time. And, even some of my family members, I knew that they were going to try to say the right thing, but they'd never walked through it, so they didn't know what to say. And there were times where I definitely just shunned the world out because I wanted to be alone and didn't want to talk to anybody. And then other times being around people is somewhat therapeutic and brought help and healing.
So what, to those people that are watching, what is the one thing that helped you through the miscarriage? I mean, what was the, what could you say that would be most encouraging to someone watching that's just gone through a miscarriage?
For me, you know, I have a personal relationship with the Lord. So God is really my only hope. So because I have a relationship with him, I know that I can cling to him and I can press into him and that he's there for me and he's going to comfort me. I don't know how people walk through something like this without the Lord. It's just so tragic and difficult, and without him, and don't get me wrong, there's times where I was, you know, screaming at God and angry with God and, you know, questioning so many different things, but at the end of the day I know that he's my source of comfort and hope, and he has everything in control and he has a plan that's greater than what I can imagine. So just holding on to that was, for me, one of the only things I could do to even get out of bed in the morning in the very beginning. So
Well,
yeah.
we hope this vlog has been encouraging to you all. On Friday of this week, Chelsea has written an excellent post where she shares a little bit more about her miscarriage, and we believe it's going to be a real source of help and encouragement to those of you that are walking through this right now. So, thanks so much, and we look forward to connecting with you again.